that stuck out the most this weekend was when we had the bonfire with the kids, and Danny had us all crying. He was asking the kids to write letters to their parents and also write about their fears and problems that they're having. And around the campfire, he asked the kids if they've ever felt loved by their parents, if they've ever heard their parents say that they love them or that they felt proud of them. And that was just a really emotional time, just witnessing the kids really opening up about that as to whether it was a yes or a no. And then Danny had the parents send audios, which he played for the kids, all saying how they loved them, they were proud of them. And it was just a really touching moment to be able to be there with the kids, and we just really felt God's presence in that.
I think aside from the bonfire, which was really touching, one of the things that stuck out to me a lot was the amount of laughter that rang out in the house. And that was really fun to experience until, even though they were so tired, until very, very late at night, there was just laughter and giggles and jokes and just joy in the house. And that was really fun. There was a number of times that I saw our team members, our soccer coaches, kind of pull either one of the boys aside individually or put their arm around one of the boys individually, or, have a side conversation with one of the boys individually. And I really enjoyed seeing them minister to each of the kids individually as opposed to as a group as a whole, because I think that's where relationships are built, and that's where connection happens. And I'm really excited to see those connections be formed and strengthened.
For me, again, the bonfire, just seeing the kids open up and be very vulnerable. And I think it really was good that it's a small group of kids and not around all the other kids, because, you want to be all big and tough and everything because you're a teen boy. But they really opened up, and that was a lot of fun to be able to witness God moving in that way. If anyone's been to Antigua, you know what the fountain looks like in the park. If you don't know, Peter, flash a picture up for this video. So meanwhile, Peter's explaining to two of the boys, this fountain's really known for its distinct design and stuff. And they get up there and I was videoing, waiting for the reaction. They're just standing there staring. And then the one kid finally goes, "Dude, see where the water's shooting out?" It was hysterical.
It was really, really fun to watch kind of them light up and their eyes get really wide as they were seeing so many things, especially in the ruins. They really, really enjoyed going down into the crypts and seeing all the creepy places. And it was just really fun to see them experience it for the first time.
So they're used to sea level. We're at 7,000 feet. Some of them were huffing and puffing, and I don't blame them. They're also used to playing on a really big field and with different rules. And so this was all very new to them. So I feel like they did a pretty good job. They got a little discouraged there for a while because it was a little rough at some points. But when Adrian got a goal, I think that definitely helped. And then Silas, man, he's tiny, but he's feisty, and he ran that whole entire game.
He worked.
He did a really, really good job. I was really proud of them.
I've had the opportunity to be at a lot of their trainings and practices, and it's one of my favorite parts of our trips to Rio. And they just have so much fun, but they've never played another team other than, amongst themselves. And so this was definitely a new experience for them, and I was nervous for their little hearts, especially as the other team started to get some goals, and we weren't quite as fortunate there. But they all had such good attitudes. Obviously, they were disheartened, but they were so polite and still so happy to be there, and they bounced right back after the game. So I was really excited to see how well they handled that.
Be a goldfish. like the bonfire definitely had a big impact. I feel like that's something that they're not going to forget. And then at the end, we also were able to give them New Testament comic Bibles. And they all seemed really interested in that, to be able to like they started opening it up and like flipping through it and stuff, because that's definitely their level, since they were around the 12, 13, had a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. So that's like right up their alley.
I think this weekend as a whole, they had so much fun. Especially seeing all the things that they've never seen before and don't ever get the opportunity to see. But I do think, and I hope that the bonfire experience really sticks with them, because they were really able to open up and be vulnerable, which is not an easy thing to do, living amongst your friends and your family along the river. There are few chances to be vulnerable and be accepted for that. So hopefully that really sticks with them and they can kind of keep that in their hearts. The change that I noticed was in their, I think, comfort level with some of the other members of the team that they don't always see. I mean, they were incredibly polite and positive and happy the whole time they were there. We didn't have problems with any of them. As far as attitude or misbehaving goes, but they were from in the beginning of the trip, they were obviously a little bit shy. Of course, they were really tired too, but they really opened up over the course of the couple days that we were all together, because we were all doing so many things together. So that was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like when we were walking around Antigua, some of the kids were like asking me questions, they were asking Peter questions, they definitely, it wasn't just their soccer team and their coaches and that's it. Like they were opening up to everyone. They loved the cat that was sleeping in the market in a basket. They totally didn't think it was real. And yeah, just being able to open up and start talking to everyone and asking questions about the history. They were really into the history.
I was just so thankful to see the boys have an opportunity to, the presence of God was definitely there and palpable. I was just really joyful to know that the boys were experiencing that too, and that they had that opportunity and have that relationship with our team, that they can hear that in a consistent basis.
For me, I was just really watching how the kids were reacting and to everything that was like Danny was saying and the questions he was asking and stuff like that. And as I was noticing more kids be more vulnerable, crying more, sniffling more, not trying to hide it as much, I was just like really praying, like, Lord, just grab their hearts. Like Asabias, grab his heart. Like Adrian, grab his heart. Like each of the kids. And it was just such a special night and moment together. And yeah, I think I just hope and pray that this definitely planted seeds, and that they won't forget that night. I got goosebumps, and just so happy, just so happy for those kids. The soccer is fun. Football is fun. Football is life. But the whole point is sharing the gospel and mentoring these kids and teaching them about the Bible and about Jesus and about salvation and the free gift that we have with him, and just the kids actually taking that step in that moment of being vulnerable is just like, I have chills all over again just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was really great to see them kind of take that step to walk closer with God, and I so hope that they continue that journey, because in that moment they were so eager for it, and it was just really refreshing and exciting to see.
3 came to accept Christ, so that's huge, obviously. And I really feel like the other 3 boys, I hope and pray that the seeds definitely were planted. I feel like they were. I feel like it's definitely a start, and it's something to keep going, like to keep having that momentum and being able to mentor them and walk with them in discipleship and stuff to hopefully one day they too will also make that decision. So I feel like their hearts were definitely softened and are more open to hearing more and like hunger and thirsty for God, like Lisa was saying.
My hope is that they are able to, from the relationships that they're experiencing with one another and with our team and how those have been strengthened this weekend, that they're able to kind of see their other relationships in their lives through that lens and be able to find new ways and more, outgoing ways to show their friends and their family the love that they are showing one another.
I think a lot of it goes back to that bonfire. That's where, I feel like the whole weekend was building up to the bonfire. Being able to allow the kids to have fun and be able to explore and see things that led to the relationships, strengthening amongst the whole team and the coaches, and being able to have that one-on-one time with them. And even right off the bat, it was the first night that the kids had written down questions beforehand, and Will and Eliseo went over the questions, and some of them were about the different rules of the different type of soccer that they were going to be playing, and then how many volcanoes are in Guatemala. And then there were 2 very deep questions about God and why do bad things happen and stuff like that. And I feel like our team really did a good job of bringing in the Bible, bringing in scripture and explaining those types of things. And so I feel like that was the starting point leading up to, and then we had another lesson where Bilson came, he was in charge of another organization, and he came and gave a really powerful talk with the kids. And then that night's when we had the bonfire. And so I feel like it just all was stepping stones leading up to the bonfire moment and preparing these kids' hearts for that time.
It's always fun to experience something for the first time, but I think it's even more fun and there's so much more fulfillment when you see somebody that you care about so much experiencing that same thing. Maybe that, for example, we've been to Antigua dozens of times, probably hundreds for you guys, but it was so much fun to see it newly through their eyes as they're experiencing it for the first time too. And the same went for everything this weekend. And like Donna said, all culminating up to that bonfire when they were experiencing, we don't know how many times, and according to the kids, it doesn't happen often, that they're told that they're loved and that their parents are proud of them. And, we don't know all the ins and outs and difficulties of the relationships that they have at home, but to see them experience the love of God firsthand, it just gives you a whole fresh take on it. And it was really, really powerful thing to be a part of.